Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome again to another live this morning. And always great to have you on with us. And I want to say hello to a few people, so I'll just wait till make sure if you are coming on. Okay, we're going to hit two stories this morning. One on hand sanitizers. Nick is watching, Rosa, Diane, and Nativity, and Faye. Good morning to you. Good to have you on with us this morning. Okay, big crowd. Laura and Joss from Baxter, Pauline from Newfoundland, and Sophie and Judy. You guys are great. Thanks for coming on this morning. Phyllis, how are you this morning? Jerry, our haps, I'm worried. Sorry. And Sandy, Laura, good to have you with us, Laura. And John, my friend from Elgin, Illinois, who's having a vitamin C this morning. I had my fill of vitamin C this morning. I love it. Jeanette and Dan, good morning to you. Lise, how are you? Let me just say, I missed one here. Let me just go up. Jordan from Edmond, Oklahoma. Another wonderful school day. I guess you guys, have they started down there? I know I started a little bit early, right? Compared to us. I've got a couple of grandchildren in college, in the one in Virginia and the other one in Iowa. Grandchildren going to college. Okay, Lise, how are you? And Cynthia and Denise and Agnes and Rebecca and Nellie, Jeanette and Jane. Okay, from Don Mills. I used to live in Don Mills when I went to school in Toronto. Janelle, good to have you on. Okay, Joyce from Michigan and Arlene. Okay, now I'll say hello to the rest of you after. Okay, I'll go in and just give you a little click on... Well, we're going to talk about two things, two stories that come out. I'll post, maybe I'll post them both. But one of them on hand sanitizers. Now, you guys know me. I've been talking about this for a long time. Don't over clean. It's the worst thing you can do. You know, people were drinking Javex or gargling with bleach because they were so scared of the virus. And I don't like those hand sanitizers. I really don't. You know, you see them in the stores and all that, and you can't go in there without that. But you know what? The FDA, and when the FDA recalls something, it's got to be bad, okay? Because they recalled hundreds and hundreds of different types of the hand sanitizers. Why is that? Because of toxic chemicals in there. Okay? And the first batch that they recalled had methanol, which is a wood alcohol, which is a neurotoxin. And a lot of these companies, what they were doing, they were mislabeling them. They said, oh no, it's just ethanol in there, not methanol. And then the other one was propanol. And propanol, again, is a neurotoxin. Guys, you put something on your skin, think about it. You put a nitro patch. A lot of medication now is delivered by the skin, right? Even chemotherapy and whatever, they put a patch on. Or heart, they put a patch on you. Why is that? Because it's transdermal. It can get into your bloodstream rapidly through the skin. And then you wash you wipe your hands with this garbage. That's what I call it. It's garbage. Not only for the neurotoxins, but the fact that you're killing all your good bacteria. You need good bacteria Don't over clean. The war goes on within your body and on top of your body, on the skin. There's a war that goes on there. You don't see it. It's invisible. Bacteria are so small you can't see them in the naked eye. But you want to have enough good guys because your good guys are your defense mechanism, not only inside your gut, but on your skin. And we have this idea, this virus, wash your hands, wash your hands. Yeah, okay. And I'm not against washing your hands. Use soap and water. And don't do it 50 times a day. People have gotten into the virus is everything. And they forget about the body's immune system. Ooh, I get uptight about it. We're looking for love in all the wrong places. All the emphasis is on this virus. In Sudbury, we had a pancake for the curve. 2 weeks to flatten the curve, remember? What are we into now? 17 weeks or somebody said it the other day. I can't remember. 17, 18. I don't know how many weeks we're in. To flatten the curve. But I know I'm preaching to the choir this morning. You guys understand this. You understand the immune system. And there was a study out this week, and I'll probably comment on it tomorrow, but let me do it right now. Okay? Because this study was saying on COVID, okay, that imagine if we could find a drug. Because they're looking for a vaccine right now, right? They're testing. They're in phase 3. In Australia, the Prime Minister announced, I read this yesterday, that when the vaccine comes out, it's going to be mandatory. Is that going to happen in North America, in Canada, in the United States? I don't know. But that's not the point. The point of the study was showing, well, think about this. Imagine if we could find something that would decrease the risk of COVID. Well, not just COVID, but of COVID making you sick. Okay? Because there are always going to be viruses. And there was another study. I'll go on a rabbit trail just for a half a sec because I'm going to bring this out. I was thinking about doing it today, but maybe tomorrow, whatever. But there is a study on the next pandemic. It is fascinating reading on the next pandemic. And they're saying it won't be viral. It'll be bacterial. But let's not talk about that for today. Okay? But what this other study was saying is, I know they're looking for a vaccine, but imagine if we know with certainty that we could combat COVID. The risk of getting sick would be decreased by 80 or 90%, just getting sick from it. Decrease of dying from it, 80 or 90%. What would that be worth? Because the vaccine's not going to give us that, guys. We know that by history. Now, the polio vaccine was very, very, it worked in 80, 90% of the cases. It's one of the very few because any other viral, especially when you look at the flu bug, you know, they're lucky to get to 40%, 40, 50%. It's rarely even that high. And look, if you want to take the flu shot or whatever, you're not going to hear me tell you not to do that. I won't do it. But I'm not putting all my eggs in the basket of a vaccine, because I'm not even going to talk about possible side effects. It's whether it's efficient, whether will work. But we already have. This is what this study is saying. We already have basically the cure for the virus. And then they go on to mention two things. We already have the cure that will keep you out of the hospital. Because wasn't that the whole idea of flattening the curve? We wouldn't want to overwhelm our hospitals. Well, there's no COVID anymore in Canada. I mean, there's a couple of hundred cases of it, for heaven's sakes. And no hospitals are being overrun, but it doesn't matter. We got to wear masks. We got to social distance. I love playing baseball. Even at my age, I still love playing. I told my wife the other night, I quit when I can't see the ball anymore. I've always loved baseball. Okay? I enjoy it. Our leagues couldn't play. Kids couldn't play ball this summer. Kids couldn't go play Little League baseball. I love coaching my little grandsons. There was no league. What's the study saying? We have a vaccine. Lower your insulin. The study said it. Somebody online yesterday said, is that all he ever talks about? Well, I'm a food guy. Insulin's a food hormone. You don't even need insulin if you don't eat. But we need to eat. But if you lower your insulin, they're showing this. If you lower your insulin, your risk of getting COVID are almost nothing. And we already talked about this many a time. The elephant in the room. Metabolic syndrome, which is insulin resistance. We have a virus that attacks people who are metabolically unhealthy. The answer's in food. If you're a good eater, the virus, you'll swat it off like a fly. It won't affect you. Yeah. Because food affects your immune system big time. And when your insulin is, your cells are resistant to insulin, it affects everything about a lot of things, but what? Your immune system. Guess what the second one was on the study? The natural vaccine. Vitamin D. Vitamin D. And what the study was saying is that they put up vitamin D against anything. If you have good levels of vitamin D in your body, your chances of getting sick from COVID are almost nil. People that were hospitalized with COVID, when they did the studies, they were extremely low in vitamin D. This is what happens even to our seniors population. They got no vitamin D. No vitamin D. no immune system. High insulin, crappy carbs, no immune system. Folks, I promise you, I'm going to preach and preach and preach. For you, the answer is right in front of us. And I know you understand it. But I want to confirm it. How many billions of dollars are we going to spend? Can you imagine? I just give you Australia, for example. I don't even know how many people live in Australia. Is the population bigger than Canada? Is it 40 million or 50 million? I can't remember. Somebody look it up and Google it. Tell me how many. But they're going to provide a vaccine for everybody, and it's going to be mandatory. Now, how much is that going to cost? Coming to a theater near you. Probably coming into Canada, United States, the vaccine is in, they're saying they're into the third phase. That's the final phase of testing. So it might be out, the vaccine might be out before the end of 2020. And again, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying that. The pharmaceutical companies they're racing. Can you imagine? If it's mandatory, even if it's not, how many people? And you might not have a choice anyways if you want to travel. If you want to get on a plane again, maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. They're going to make up rules as they go along. We've seen that. But guys, the ramifications of making sure your insulin is down and your vitamin D is up. Wow. How incredible is that? Your risk of getting COVID. Better than a mask. You know, when I go into look, I don't like wearing a mask, to be honest, but I'll wear it. I mean, I'm going to obey the laws of the land. I go in and, to the grocery store or, whatever, put my mask on. But I watch people walking around and they're uptight. I've never seen so many angry people in the world. It's crazy. I don't think we were meant to be masked. I don't know how those Muslim women do it. To be always, covered up. Must be difficult. All I'm saying is, guys, you know what the answer is. And studies now are confirming it. And we're little John the Baptist screaming in the wilderness. Well, go and influence who you can, guys. Because when you see someone with a mask on and they are obese, I don't care what kind of vaccine they get, because the vaccine won't work on them. I told you that. Well, the studies are showing it. They found that out with the flu shot in 2018 in the United Kingdom. The flu shot doesn't work if you got metabolic syndrome. It doesn't even work on the flu shot. It's one of the reasons, I guess, that they get 40% effectiveness. It's the health of the recipient. Guys, it's always the soil, right? You look at a plant and you go, oh, it's a nice plant, but because it's in good soil. The soil is the key. You're the key. Your immune system is the key. Okay, so that was one story. How did I get from hand sanitizers to the story on metabolic syndrome? Well, they came out at the same time. At least I saw them at the same time. And I guess they do tie in together. Now, let me tell you about the other story I was going to tell you about today. Because it's on LDL cholesterol. LDL. Supposedly the bad cholesterol. You know why it's got a bad reputation? Because they found a drug that can lower it. They found a drug that can lower it. So it became the bad guy. Statin drugs lower your LDL. Low density lipoprotein. Low density lipoprotein, I've always said, why are you trying to lower that? Why are you trying to lower that? You need cholesterol. You need LDL. I wrote down 11 things that LDL does. You can't live without cholesterol. 85% of your cholesterol comes out of your liver. 15% is up to you. Did you see last night on our Facebook, private Facebook group, I posted, where was it? I can't remember the publication now. It's just escaping me for a second. They said, your brain doesn't work without animal fat. Did you see that? I posted it last night. I told you so. Someone calls you fathead, it's a compliment. For heaven's sakes, folks, you need fat in your brain. That's what this study said. I just can't remember the journal. Yeah, but of course it's true. Now, part of that is LDL cholesterol. HDL, what does HDL do? HDL, high density lipoprotein, we know what it does. It's the FedEx trucks. It is Canada Post, US Post. It is Amazon trucks. It is the delivery trucks, the essential workers. You know what? You know what our essential workers are during this whole COVID? We're truck drivers. They've never been so busy. Keeping us alive by bringing us food and goods. Well, that's what your HDL does. Your HDL looks for triglycerides and they pull them out of your body because triglycerides are the bad fats that will give you a heart attack or a stroke. Not HDL. You want that to be very high. And not LDL. Why are you trying to hammer down your LDL? 101 of biochemistry. Why is it a bad guy? Because someone said so? You have to undo that teaching. It's not true. It's not true. Say a lie long enough and people will believe it. Just keep saying it. Say it. Say it. Oh, it must be true. Oh, okay. I don't operate like that. Do you? Of course you don't. LDL cholesterol. I wrote down 11 things. You want to hear them? What it does? Do you know that LDL is important for your immune system? That's why I put it number 1. If you don't have a good levels of cholesterol, not just HDL, your immune system doesn't work properly. Why is that? Well, because you can't even synthesize vitamin D that we just talked about in COVID. You can't synthesize it without cholesterol. You can't. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. You can't synthesize vitamin A. You know me and vitamin A. It's found in vitamin S. Steak. Why is that so important? Because it protects your mucosa. It protects. It's the invisible shield. It's an invisible mask, vitamin A. But you need cholesterol to absorb it. HDL and LDL for your immune system. That was only number 1. I got 10 more. Well, I do talk about synthesizing vitamin A, so that's okay. 1 and 2. Repair cells. If you look at a cell, you look at it, it's got a little inner tube. Guess what that is made up of? Cholesterol. It transports nutrients. You can't get energy without cholesterol. It's one of the reasons people are so tired all the time, because they don't eat enough. And remember, cholesterol is not found in the plant kingdom. It's found in the animal kingdom. It's not in plants, cholesterol. And that's why there's so many that are saying, oh, don't eat cholesterol. And the cereal companies give you a high five. That's how Dr. Kellogg's, I told you his story. He invented cereal. Well, guess what? He didn't want bacon and eggs. He didn't like sausages. I told you that. It helps insulin. Wow. We just talked about insulin in the on COVID. LDL helps your insulin. It's a transporter of hormones. It helps your thyroid. You don't have... It's one of the reasons that women, men a little bit, mostly this is a woman's disorder. The thyroid, you would think men hardly have one. Now we have one. But it doesn't go wonky very often in a man, but it sure does in a woman. Every day on our Facebook group, I have to answer questions. Our staff is, oh, Doc, I'm not losing the weight I wanted to lose. Why? Because you're a woman. You got a thyroid. And your thyroid, ladies, is complicated compared to a man's. And when you... I just about died the other day. I was on the ground laughing. I mean it. Because somebody new to our group said, why... I tell you, I was in the middle of the night. I was laughing about this because it woke me up. I was just dying because there's this new lady on our group. She said, "Why does Dr. Martin hate? Why does Dr. Martin hate chicken and salad so much?" I don't hate it, guys. I don't hate it. Okay? But because women love it so much. And there's no fat in it. There's no cholesterol in chicken and salad. Unless you eat the skin on the chicken, there's not a lot of cholesterol there. I'm telling you, I was belly laughing. I was laughing so hard. Why does Dr. Martin hate chicken and salad so much? Your thyroid doesn't work properly without cholesterol. Ladies, don't let anybody ever talk you into getting rid of eggs, meat, and cheese. Don't let anybody talk you into that. I don't care how popular the vegetarians become, and they're very popular, and vegans, very popular. There's a movement afoot, big time, to get rid of animal protein, animal fat, cholesterol. Guys, don't go for it. Resist it. I will, to my dying breath, resist that. And I understand the push. Wow, what a push. Lots of money. Lots of money in the food industry and the pharmaceutical industry. The two industries that run the world, guys. Two industries run this world. Even more than the high-tech industry. Who have the most lobbyists in Canada and the United States, North America, and I'm sure it's the same in Europe. Lobby, 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 lobby. I know the pharmaceutical companies, for every congressman, every senator in Washington, they have 2 lobbyists. 2 for every congressman. Full time. Pushing their agenda. The food industry is every bit the same. And I'm not saying they don't do good things. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you, you can understand how the thinking and politicians, you know what? Most politicians are spineless. They're spineless. You have an acute problem, COVID. It's acute. Come out of nowhere. And politicians shut everything down. They shut it all down. But they never looked at the underbelly, because a politician won't do that. They don't have enough guts to stand up to the food industry. Because the answer is in front of us. The answer we know is food. The answer we know is in a vitamin. Vitamin D. Just go out in the sun. And if you live in the north, you need vitamin D as a supplement. Well, maybe not in the summer, but most people do. Every senior needs vitamin D. Why are they so susceptible to COVID? Their immune system goes down. And they don't take... Who's going to tell them that? Politicians won't tell them that. That's why don't put your faith in that. Don't put your faith in that. Okay. Did I get how many? It lowers inflammation too. LDL lowers inflammation. There's no such thing as bad cholesterol. HDL, LDL. There's nothing bad about cholesterol. They're looking for the bad fat. That's triglycerides. Because good cholesterol is good for you. And God don't trust you enough. He makes 85% of it out of your liver. 15% is up to you. You better do it. Okay. What else did I miss? Does a lot of things. Okay. So, tomorrow will be good. I promise you that. Okay? Because I may be doing the next pandemic. We're going to look at that. There's a couple of other studies that came out. Going to be interesting. Okay, so Friday, question and answer. So send your questions in for Friday. Okay? If you're not part of Martin Clinic Facebook, private Facebook group, join. Okay? And invite your friends. They can join too. We're happy to have them. And if you get a chance, please share this. Share this information to your friends and family. Okay? Okay, so what do I always say? Love you and God bless you. Talk to you soon.